It's been a while since my last lens test, but I've finally gotten this one done. Today we're talking about the DZO Catta Zooms here, both the 35-80 and the 70-135. So let's jump right into it. Now first up, we're going to talk about the price for these lenses. They both come in at $3,999 US for single lenses and $5,899 for the pair, which includes a custom hard case, and they come in either white like you see here or black. Now, in the case, you get a few accessories such as shims used to adjust the back focus of the lens and some lens supports. The Catta Zooms have a 43.5mm image circle for full frame coverage, meaning that they're going to cover full frame sensor cameras. Now, the footage you're seeing in this video is mostly shot on the RED Komodo, which has a Super 35 sensor, but there is also some footage shot on the Canon R5, R5C, as well as the EOS R, which are all full frame sensor cameras. The Catta Zooms come in either RF, E, L, X, or Z mounts, but you could also get them in an EF or PL versions by purchasing the Catta Ace versions. Now the price point on the Catta Zooms puts them comfortably in the budget range in my opinion, making them an enticing option for indie filmmakers and smaller production companies. Now following their Pictor Zoom series lenses, DZO has added an interchangeable lens mount system. However, this system is a much more straightforward and overall quicker system than most other interchangeable lens mounts. To swap the lens mount bayonet, you simply twist the rear locking ring, press the button here, and remove the mount, then repeating the process in reverse to attach the new mount. Now to me, one of the biggest draws of the DZO Catta lenses is their size and weight. For full frame cinema zooms, the Catta lenses are exceptionally small and lightweight, and they're both just 8.4 inches long and weighing just 3.4 pounds for the 35-80 and just a little bit more at 3.5 pounds for the 70-135, making them some exceptionally small lenses, especially considering that they're full frame. These lenses have a t-stop range of T2.9 to T22, and while they're not ultra fast lenses at T2.9, there aren't many cinema zooms on the market in this price bracket which are much faster and full frame. Now, I consider this a sacrifice that you have to make when going with an affordable zoom lens. The close focus distance on both lenses are very similar, with the 35-80 having a minimum focus distance of 2 feet 5 inches and the 70-135 at 2 feet 6 inches. This means that you're not going to be able to get right up on top of your subject and have it in focus, but at that point, you could choose to toss on a diopter into your matte box. Now, these lenses share the exact same gearing positions, and what that means is if you're using focus iris and zoom motors with these lenses, you're not gonna have to adjust your motor position when swapping lenses. At the back of the lens is a new feature, which is a plug-in filter that you can use to add an ND filter, diffusion, or even a streak filter. Now, these are little cartridges that you stick into the back of the lens. And DZO didn't send me any of these little plug-in filter cartridges, so I can't tell you how they are, but I do think it's a pretty nifty feature. And finally, for specs, the DZO Catta Zoom lenses both have a 77mm filter thread with an 80mm front diameter. So now on to the most important part of any lens test, and that's the characteristics of the lenses. One of the most important things I look for when choosing a lens package for production work or even personal projects is the sharpness of the lens. Now in this case of the Catta Zooms, the 35-80 is a little bit less sharp at 60mm. I found that sharpness is a bit inconsistent throughout the focal range on both lenses, and it is a compromise that you need to live with given these lenses' price and size. Now from all the footage that me and my team shot on these lenses, whether on the Komodo, the Canon R5, the R5C, whether interviews or automotive work, I didn't find the inconsistency in sharpness on the Catta Zooms to be a deal breaker. And I don't think it's gonna be a deal breaker for most smaller productions. Now, just like with sharpness, when choosing a lens package, the type of flaring I'm looking for varies from project to project. Sometimes I want very distinct flaring, and other times I want something subtle and subdued. In the case of the Catta Zooms, you're gonna get some really nice, clean flares that I would describe as soft, smooth, and not overpowering, and also not lacking in contrast. Now in terms of focus breathing, you're gonna find minimal focus breathing at the wide end. Breathing does become a bit more apparent when you climb up the focal range, but in my opinion, the Catta Zooms have an overall minimal focus breathing, which I find acceptable. So I've been asked a few times why on earth I shoot motorsports work on cinema lenses. And the answer to that question is because cinema zooms are usually parfocal. Now in the case of the DZO Catta Zooms here, they are both parfocal lenses, which means that when I change focal lengths, when I zoom in or zoom out, I do not have to reacquire focus. Thanks to the 16 iris blades, the bokeh that the Catta lenses produce are nicely shaped in the center with some cutting towards the outer edges of the frame. Now, as you move to longer focal lengths, you'll notice the bokeh towards the center start to take on the lemon drop shape as well, which I personally really do like. I find that to be a bit pleasing. I think it adds a little bit of character. Now, overall, I found that the bokeh on the Catta Zooms to be pleasing. It's not over the top vintage look, but at the same time, it's not exactly bland. Now, between flaring, sharpness, bokeh, and the overall look these lenses provide, I feel that the Catta Zooms help bring a mirrorless camera system like the Canon EOS R5 a bit more in line with a cinema camera like the Komodo. Now, I wouldn't call the Catta Zooms vintage-like by any means, but I wouldn't call them clinical. These are terms that you often hear when people discuss lenses these days. I would say that they fall right in between and make for a very nice look coming out of a pair of affordable contemporary lenses. Now, with all that being said, my final thoughts on the DZO Catta Zoom lenses are honestly quite favorable. While I do love shooting on my Tokina zoom lenses, I have found a place for the Catta Zooms and would absolutely love to shoot with them on a large format cinema camera like the RED V-Raptor. Now, at a price point of just under $6,000 US for the pair, DZO has put out a pair of really affordable full-frame cinema zooms. Now, while they do have some compromises such as the sharpness fall off, you get a very good bang for your buck. Now, as a trade-off for the compromises, what you get is a lightweight pair of full-frame cinema zoom lenses that you could use on multiple camera systems thanks to the quick swap lens mounts. Now, personally, I feel that the DZO Catta Zooms are great for event coverage and documentary filmmakers who want a lightweight, matching pair of cinema zoom lenses with full-frame coverage that will take the digital edge off of your footage. Now, I will say that there were times when shooting with these lenses that I was wishing that I had a focal length wider than 35 millimeters. So hopefully DZO does come out with a wide-angle lens at some point to complement the pair right here. So that wraps up my review of the DZO Catta Zoom lenses. Now, just a reminder, if you want to purchase the DZO Catta Zooms, you're gonna find links in the description below. When you purchase products through these affiliate links, you are directly supporting this channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And as always, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Until next time, take care.
Bokeh.
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 Bokeh. Like okay.